Thank you for visiting the YouTube channel for bestbiblecommentaries.com. In this video, I'd like to answer a question one of my subscribers asked. I am going to compare the IVP Bible Background Commentary, which is a classic whole Bible commentary, to the new Baker Illustrated Bible Background Commentary, which was just released. Before I do, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel so you can see videos on Bible commentaries, study Bibles, and theology books. Also, if you appreciate my channel, I would appreciate it if you give my videos a thumbs up, as that really helps my efforts on YouTube. Also, comment down below, what is your favorite whole Bible commentary and why? The IVP Bible Background Commentary is something of a classic. The volumes were first published in the early 1990s. I'm showing you the New Testament volume only to compare for the sake of the comparison. There is a companion Old Testament volume that's written by John Walton and Kenneth Matthews. The New Testament volume is written by Craig Keener. This second edition was published in 2014. The Baker Illustrated Bible Background Commentary is published in November 2020. It's edited by J. Scott Duvall and J. Daniel Hayes. The authors, there are multiple authors for this commentary. And if you follow Christian publishing and Bible commentaries, you'll recognize some of the names. Andreas Kostenberger, Mark Strauss, Trimper Logman, and the list goes on. There's many authors for this particular commentary, whereas there is one, Craig Keener, for this commentary. And I'll say more about Craig Keener in just a moment. One of the differences between this commentary is the layout. As you can see, the IVP Bible Background Commentary is just jam-packed full of information. The font size is a little bit smaller, and it's a two-column layout, and so it's really the set maximizes the amount of information that can be jam-packed into a book. The academic review that I'll share momentarily actually cites that. The reviewer says, I can't believe how much information is on one page in this commentary. The Baker Illustrated Bible Background Commentary takes a little bit different approach. It's a single column format. The font is much bigger, and it is filled with illustrations. Visual learners, I think, will love this commentary. There's pictures on almost every page, from archaeology to maps to different cultural artifacts, and they each help explain or help the reader to visualize something that's being described on the page. So not as much information via words, but a lot of information through pictures and illustrations in this particular volume. So how about some of the details? The New Testament volume in the IVP set is 816 pages in length. The Old Testament volume is 832 pages in length. So altogether, the IVP set is 1,648 pages in length. The Old Testament volume at the time of this video, it costs about $30 new. The New Testament volume costs between $20 and $25. And if you buy them both together, sometimes you can get a little bit of a discount on the set as a whole. The Baker Illustrated Bible Background Commentary is just one volume. It's 1,456 pages in length. Because it's so new, there's probably not a lot of used copies out there as of the making of this video. And new, the price point is $35. Background, both of the commentaries have the word background in the title, which shows the focus of each of the books. Background is used broadly in this sense. It could mean archaeology, it could mean literary background, it could mean social or cultural background issues, it could relate to the background of a particular empire, Egypt, Rome, Greece, and so on. And so the purpose or the focus is not theology in either book. It's not application in either book. It's understanding the background in order to understand the biblical text better. So what about theology? So I just said there's not really a theological emphasis. I would describe this volume as broadly evangelical. I would describe Craig Keener's approach in this volume as broadly evangelical. But because there's one author, a lot of times people want to know what is the theological convictions of this particular author. So Craig Keener is conservative evangelical. He is Arminian. He is previously associated with Pentecostal churches. I'm not sure what his affiliation is as of this video as far as a denomination, if he affiliates with a denomination. But those theological topics aren't really the focus of the commentary. He's writing to inform the reader about the Bible background. He's not attempting to persuade the reader regarding theological issues. So here's an example of that. Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 6 describes the millennium, and Christians have there's different views on the millennium. Many of you probably already know that. Christians do not all see the millennial period as the same thing. So, and Craig Keener personally has a view on that because he wrote a commentary on Revelation and I've read it. And so that's clear. But in this particular commentary, his approach is in that passage, is to explain the three major perspectives on that passage, and then give a verse by verse commentary on the descriptions found in the verses, focusing on the background. So in other words, he's not trying to persuade the reader necessarily. He's trying to give helpful background information so we can understand the content, so the reader can understand the content of the verses better. So this one's broadly evangelical, and Keener is broadly evangelical in his approach to this particular commentary. And I would say the same for the Old Testament volume as well. So what about the authors, or the audience? I would describe this commentary as mid-level, and I would describe this one as introductory. So would lay people benefit from this? Yes, I think lay people, maybe those who are used to reading Bible reference material of some sort, or Christian literature of any kind outside the Bible, might do a little bit better. Those who have that experience would do better with this one. Pastors, for sure, scholars will benefit from this one too. This one is the Baker is more introductory. So you're a lay person who's not used to reading a lot of material outside of the Bible might be more helped. The approach in this one might be more helpful in the sense that it's just not as much material. So, and also it's just highly visual, which helps a lot of learners too. So let's say this is mid-level, target audience is pastors and others. This one is introductory, target audience is lay people, although I don't want to put I don't want to confine either to either category, but I would just describe that as the basic approach. So what about academic reviews? If you're new to my channel, I like to try and give academic reviews because not everybody has access to those. People can find reviews online the same, but sometimes the academic journals, it's not easy for most people to access those. And I think they're helpful. I like them. So that's why I share them. There's not any academic reviews on the Baker Illustrated Bible Background Commentary yet because it's like a month old. But for this is a classic. So I was able to find a good review on it. And it's from the Bulletin for Biblical Research. The reviewer, who by the way, doesn't have the same theological convictions as Craig Keener. And I just highlight that because he gives a very positive review. And I just want to emphasize again that Keener's approach is more to inform, not persuade. The reviewer says, there may be no one more qualified for the task of writing this book than Craig Keener. And what he means by that is the background information, the cultural background of every verse in the New Testament, as the subtitle says. The cultural background is really Craig Keener's strengths. I mean, he's a New Testament scholar, first of all. He has several commentaries on Old Testament books, he has several commentaries on New Testament books that are well reviewed by people from any theological persuasion, and really his area of expertise is cultural backgrounds. So that's why the reviewer says there's probably no one better qualified to write this than Craig Keener. He next says in the review, another portion I took out to share. He says, in most cases, I found Keener's background information to be extremely helpful. So why does he say in most cases? The reviewer prefaces that statement by saying that it is not easy to author a whole Bible commentary because there's a lot of information you leave out. The author leaves out. There's more information they leave out than they include because there's a lot of information on Scripture. And so The focus, though, for each book is what background information will help the reader understand the text better. And so there's some selection that the author has to do. There's some choices the author has to make as what information makes it into the book and what information doesn't. And the reviewer in this case is saying, in most cases, I found Keener's background information to be extremely helpful. In other words, he made the right selections as far as what to include and what not to include. So the reviewer concludes his review saying, "It amazes me how much material Keener is able to put into this work." And that's a common praise for this volume. It's the 2-column, the font's smaller, there's not a lot of or any pictures or maps or things like that, and so there's just a lot of information via text that is packed into this volume. He said, "It amazes me how much material is able to pack into this work. I would be surprised if there is any commentary that provides more learning per page than this commentary." I think he's talking about whole Bible commentaries, but perhaps not. The reviewer didn't specify. But in other words, that's a lot of praise for this volume. So what would I say? If you've been on my website, you see I don't try and say this commentary is better than this commentary. What I more try and do is say, share the aggregate reviews, and then ask, what is your purpose? What is your skill level? What kind of learner are you? So, and that's how I would make the choice between these two commentaries. If you prefer learning via text and want the maximum amount of information possible, then this would be your choice. If you are really interested, if you're a visual learner and you're just interested in all the maps and timelines and charts and archaeology and artifacts and art and things like that, this one would probably be your choice. For pastors, there's definitely more information in this one. For lay people, there's definitely more illustrations in this one. So that's how I would approach thinking about which of these commentaries might be best for your purposes. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thank you for watching it. Please consider subscribing, and thank you for visiting bestbiblecommentaries.com.